afternoon. I know the before lunch session and after lunch session, right? But mind you, that's as difficult for me as well. How does it work? Center. Or आगे बढ़ो. Thank you. So once again, good afternoon. The topic given to me to talk today is the India's supply chain moment. Right? Topic looks quite interesting. But before I start, can I ask you, when I talk about or when I say about, can I get a walking mic, please? When I talk about supply chain management, I'm not going to ask you that what is supply chain management, but what changes are taking place into supply chain management? What changes are taking place in supply chain management? What comes on top of your mind? Just anything which comes into your mind, there is nothing right and wrong. So just say, yes. Digitization, all right. Anybody else? Risk taking, yes. Sustainability, anybody else? Resilience, yes. What else? Come on, some more. Globalization. So guys, you said all the things, almost everything. Gone are the days when we were talking about supply chain as a back-end function. Right? We are talking about resilience, bouncing back. We are talking about digitization. Guys, the supply chain from the back-end function, it has become a function which is shaping the competitiveness and reliability of your organization. And not only here, it is even now being used for national positioning. Do you agree with me? Right? So supply chain function has gone beyond strategic. Not only strategic, it has gone beyond strategic. Now, when we are talking about that, this is the moment for supply chain. Why we are saying it? What has changed? And that's what in this session we would like to discuss together. That what has changed. So, what has changed? Why this movement is different? We are saying it is a supply chain moment. Why it is different? The traditionally supply chains were focusing on efficiencies, cost per unit, inventory turns, transactional efficiencies. Don't they matter? They still matter. Right? But they were the discussion inside the organization. These were not in the part of boardroom discussions. They were not into policy making. And what has changed now is supply chains have moved from back-end function, as we said, they are a strategic function. We all know about it. The supply chains are influencing now, not the goods movement only. They are influencing your investment decisions. The global companies are taking calls where to invest, depending on your supply chain capability, supply chain infrastructure. Your supply chains are influencing trust and credibility. We have seen in COVID. Few companies still performed better than others in COVID. They were similar kind of situation for all of us. All the companies, same platform, same level playing field, but some did better. And then is competitive positioning. And that's what is changing. And the moment is very, very critical for us. The global resetting has been done. What is that resetting? That now world is watching the resilience, the reliability, and also your resilience. And that's where you see that supply chains are now, of course, they were getting re-optimized. Now they are getting redesigned to take care of all these challenges which are coming in. They are being redesigned, and that's where you find this is a fortune moment for India. This redesign, global redesign, is giving us an opportunity to get into the main picture. And that's where is the opportunity today we are going to talk. When we are talking about, let's see what was India's earlier narrative. Of course, it was a cost advantage era. Not a bad era, I don't say. That was the focus. It was costs were focus, the low production costs, cheap labor, transactional efficiencies. Nothing wrong in focusing the cost. But there were two limitations of this cost advantage. If they were not very easily, I'll use word easily replicable and easily replaceable. And if your supply chains have the foundation on cost advantage, it was very fragile foundation. It was a good foundation, but a fragile foundation if it was only on cost. It remains still, guys, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying cost is need to be the focus. Of course, it has to be, but there are now something add-on to that which we need to think about. And that's where the limits of the cost advantage are this. We talk about new questions. Of course, I'm still asking where we can produce cheapest, but with that, I'm also asking where it is reliable, whether it is resilient, whether it is transparent and trustworthy, whether I can see a scale without disruption. And these are the new questions which supply chain is being challenged with. Of course, cost remains. Now, if that is the thing, there is a shift happening from cost to strategic advantage. And what is that? What strategic advantage means is predictability, not just price. You need to predict in advance. Somebody talked about digitization. Oh yes, it helps me in predicting it faster. Ecosystem strength, not just capacity. Ecosystem strength, when I say, it is not only you optimize your own assets inside, but it is now influencing your partners. You can't run entire supply chain on your own. Any one of you is running that your entire supply chain you are running? Anybody here? Anybody? You have the partners. And you have to now talk about the strength of the ecosystem, not only yours. Not only yours. And that's where is long-term credibility and not short-term savings. You need to think, and supply chains are thinking in long-term. Now, having said that, India's emerging position is being seen as not just a low-cost option, but a long-term supply chain partner. I repeat, that's why I call it is India's moment. We are being looked at the long-term supply chain partner, or we are being evaluated as long-term supply chain partner now. Having said that, why India? And why now? Why not earlier? Isn't it? That is a common question will come to your mind. Now, why India is structural enablers? What are those? Market. We not only have a good production base, but we have a very large market, consumption market. Nobody can ignore India. No one, whatever bigger organization it is, nobody can ignore India. We have a good, big market base. And that's our strength. And that's what our PM keeps saying. 140 crore is a strength, a different way to look at. It's a consumption base is huge. And when I'm talking about consumption base, let's look at the e-commerce. Currently, $145 billion market is expected to go by $345 billion Indian market by 2030. Huge consumption market. And that's our strength. That's why India now. Policy and infrastructure alignment, all of us are seeing the changes. I think everyone sitting here will know about the National Logistics Policy, which was launched in 2022. First time India saw a logistics policy. First time. And fortunately, I was part of it. And how detailing is done over there, I think some of us know it's a public document. You can go and then look into this. Lot of things are to be done. And when I say, in my previous slide, when I say about the India's supply chain was cost focused, guys, give me a break. Our logistics cost were how much? Any guess? Absolutely, sir. 13 to 14% of GDP. And what is the benchmark? Or what is the developed country have? 8 to 10%. So give me a break if we were talking about cost advantage. Give me a break. Maybe our production costs were lower, but the systems cost were diluting this advantage. And that's where we come to that policy. Now there are good policy which are coming in. There is a government support coming in. I see a government which talks about supply chain first time. There is a national logistics policy. There is a PM Gati Shakti plan. There is a Gati Shakti Mahavidyalaya in Baroda. Do you know it? How many of you know it? Please raise your hands. Not many. And we have people from supply chain field. There is a Gati Shakti Mahavidyalaya where you get the very focused information courses designed for logistics and supply chain. So there are policies. My point is that we have policy and infrastructure alignment. And that's how India, that's how now, that's how it is a moment for India. Okay? Now, having said that, other than this policy, we have digital the digital platforms. UPI, all of you know it, isn't it? UPI in a single month, recent month, 20 billion transactions, 27 lakh crore transaction. Now, it does not talk about fintech success. It talks about your transactional infrastructure at national level, which is built over a period of time, which is the strength again. And that's how India now. Then is talent depth. I must say that we have a powerful combination of talent here, which is managerial and technological. We have a very good talent. And that's again a India advantage. Having said that, the few countries only can offer this kind of combination. Very few. I know there are few which are better than us and will always be, but we have a great combination to offer now. And that's what it is, India moment. Having said that, what this demand from leaders? I see many leaders from industry here, from academia as well over here. Professor Rajiv is here from IMB, right? I see many leaders over here. We have a role to play here. How to capture this opportunity? How to build upon this the opportunity? Let it not go. And what we demand, what this situation demands from leaders like you, all of you, is number one, optimization to orchestration. Of course, I need optimization, but I need to orchestrate my partners, the service providers, the ecosystem which I talked about. I need to orchestrate. Second thing is efficiency to preparedness. Efficiency, guys, will be always important. I'm not diluting its importance at all, but is now it's going to preparedness. How do you prepare? How many disruption you have seen in last 5 years compared to last 20 years? Many, sir? In last 5 years, we have seen so many disruptions which we didn't see in last 20 years. And what does it mean? I can close my eyes and say, oh God, save me from these disruptions. Or I can say that these disruptions are going to stay. Let me prepare myself. Let me prepare my organization. Would that be the better way? I need to prepare for these disruptions. It will take time, not an overtime task. What else we need to prepare is control to collaboration. Gone are the days of controlling. I told you are not controlling all the supply chains, all the facets of supply chain. You can't. And that's where collaboration comes. And collaboration not a soft language now. It's a hard requirement. Let's accept it. It's not soft language. We need it. Then comes his short-term gains, but then long-term credibility we have talked about. And as it says, reputation travels faster than your shipment. Right? We need long-term strategies. The ESG and all people talking about, the previous channel talking about, is really, they are not now compliance. These are your competitive advantage, these are your assets. How many organizations, I'm asking you again, are having monthly ESG target? Please raise your hands. We have, oh great, which organization it is? Philips, fantastic and congratulations. We have 2070 targets. We have 2050 targets for ESG. But I have next week sales target. Do I have next month ESG target, carbon reduction target? 2045 I'll be zero, but fine, what I'll be next month? I'll be happy to see some of these kind of breakup of those long-term targets. I'll be happy because we are doing it for sales. Right? Now this ESG is not a compliance. Need to become a way to live, way to do business. Now, that's what these leaders are required. There is a shift happening that how do we tackle it? Did you notice the shift which is required in our leadership? And these are the shift I'm talking about. And the real question ahead, guys, is the opportunity is clear. The moment is real. We are into a moment. Pro supply chain. I pass through it and it bangs. Doesn't want me to come this side, perhaps. So, moment is real. And the real question to all of us, especially the supply chain leaders, is, can India consistently deliver strategic value to a watching world? Consistently deliver strategic value. That's the real question to all of us. It's not today, it's not tomorrow, but it's over and over and over again. Can we consistently deliver that value? And we have to answer together this question, or we have to prepare together as business leaders. Now, having said that, a final thought is cost advantage, of course, brings business. But a strategic advantage builds trust. Efficiency wins contracts. Important still. But reliability wins partnership. You can rely. And that's again a shift from cost advantage alone to a strategic advantage. And that brings me to the final slide. That moment is here, guys. The world is watching, and world is watching us for not promising, but to deliver. Not only promises, but to deliver, and then is leadership will decide whether this moment becomes a milestone. Each one of us are going to decide whether we are capturing this opportunity or not. I leave you all with a thought-provoking questions. Number one, think yourself, and I don't need your answers. Are we investing in supply chain in the right directions? Think about your organization. My organization need could be demand forecasting, yours could be totally different. Are we investing in supply chain in right direction? Number one. Number two, are we building right talent? Is it an area of choice, or there you have landed up? Is it an area of choice for me today, for the coming talent, Alpha, the Gen Z and Alpha? We need to think about it, and if there are some improvement, if there are something which we can do about it, we all must do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.